Hey guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. I hope you're ready for some cleaning motivation today. I have a lot to do. There's a lot to tidy up. I'm going to start in the master bedroom, work my way out into the kitchen area. The pantry needs a lot of work. A while back, I shot a video on decluttering and organizing the pantry, and that has been one of my best projects to date. It's so organized, but every once in a while it gets a little cluttered in there. So I'll eventually work my way to the pantry, but that area definitely needs some decluttering and organizing. I'm also going to show you how to make a toasted coconut cake. I don't know if there's coconut lovers out there. You either love coconut or you can't stand it. You're either one spectrum or the other, but I am in a household and am surrounded by friends that love coconut cake. We are going to a going away party for one of our very good friends. We're going to miss them so much, and they asked for me to make dessert. So that's one of my specialties, this toasted super moist coconut cake. So I will walk you through that recipe, and hopefully you can make it for your own family if they love coconut, because I think it would be a hit.
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more.
See this gray fleece throw blanket? I gotta tell you, I love it so much. I sleep with this thing every single night. We don't use the flat sheets in our bed. I just feel like it captures too much heat and it makes me sweat. I don't like sweating when I'm sleeping, but this fleece blanket is lightweight and it's just enough to keep me warm. It feels like silk. It's so soft. It's like a cloud, and it gives me the best sleep ever. I had no plans to vacuum the room today, but I thought, why not? Let me just go ahead and see how much dust is building up and accumulating in this room. I'm gonna quickly run my sharp vacuum cleaner over the floors as well as the rug and try and pick up as much dust and dirt as I can.
It's way too quiet in the house. I'm just wasted on the couch, 'cause I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stayed here right with me. I can't shake that feeling that we said goodbye too soon. I know the hour's getting late. I shouldn't sit here contemplating. I just can't stop thinking about us. I won't forget a single thing, from drunken nights to Sunday mornings, and how you smile at me. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stay.
The bedroom is clean. I'm going to move on to showing you how to make this delicious moist coconut cake. First, you're going to need cake flour. You need 2.5 cups of cake flour, and you can actually buy cake flour at the store. Next, you'll need 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I don't know why, but I did not press record when it was time to beat the butter and sugar together. Now we're going to pour in our dry ingredients, which consists of the cake flour, baking powder, baking soda, as well as the salt. You'll need 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which is 3/4 cup, 1 2/3 cup of granulated sugar, 5 egg whites at room temperature, and 1/2 cup of sour cream, 1 cup of unsweetened coconut milk, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And I'm so sorry for that. I have no idea why I did not press record, but that's what this batter is. All those things mixed together, plus the dry ingredient mixture we just added. To make it taste extra coconutty, you will add 1 cup of sweetened shredded coconut. Mix it all together, and then you're going to prepare your pans for it to bake. I measured the size of the pans, and what I did was I turned the pan upside down and cut all along the edge of it to create the circle, and I used parchment paper for that. I'm placing parchment paper at the bottom of the baking pans so that the cake batter does not stick to the pan, but also when it's time to take the cake out and I flip it upside down, the cake will not stick to the pan. So that's one of my baker's secrets, and I'm sure a lot of you all know that. Another secret is to use this baking tool. It's called a cake strip or baking strip. You can purchase this on Amazon. I'll link it in the description below. And what they are is it's like a moisture retaining fabric strip. And what you do is you soak it in water and then you wrap it around the outside of your cake pan before baking. And what it does is that it helps the cake bake evenly by insulating the sides of the pan basically, and it prevents them from heating up too quickly. Basically what it does is it reduces the doming effect and it helps the cake rise flat instead of with a round top. So when you're trying to ice the cake, you don't have to cut that dome off on the top or the rounded part on top. The cakes bake flat, so you can just stack them on top of one another without doing the extra work. I forgot to mention that I did use two 9-inch baking pans, and I did line it with the parchment paper rounds. You can cut the parchment paper yourself or you can buy it pre-cut. Place it in your preheated 350-degree oven. You want to bake it for 21 to 23 minutes. While the cakes are baking, I'm just going to tidy up in the kitchen area. I made quite the mess. Just place everything back where it belongs, load the dishwasher, and get this kitchen nice and clean and organized again. The timer went off and I want to peek my head into the oven just to see what it looks like. It doesn't look finished and every oven is different. I'm just going to let it cook for another, let's just say 3 minutes, and then I think we'll be good to go. In the meantime, I'm going to throw away all this trash. It's almost trash day, so it's a good time to take all the trash out since it is overflowing. When Chuck built us this house, I love the fact that he built this trash pull-out cabinet large enough to fit 2 trash cans. This way, I don't have to go and take out the trash every single day. I mean, I might take it out every other day, maybe every 3rd day if I'm lucky, but our trash cans fill up pretty quickly. One thing I do try to do is if there is any containers that hold chicken or raw meats, I try and keep it in a bag in the refrigerator until the night before we take out the trash so that it doesn't stink up our trash cans. So that's something I do. It's my little pet peeve to have smelly trash cans, and I try my best not to have that smell in the house or even in our trash cans for that matter. I'll keep those containers that the meat, the styrofoam containers that the meat, the ground beef, the chicken came on in the refrigerator in a bag until it's time to take them out to the trash can so that it doesn't stink up the trash cans or stink up the house. Now you can see that I'm loading the dishwasher. I didn't have any dishes to unload, surprisingly. So I'm going to load the dishwasher and wash a few dishes and then get the rest of the kitchen clean. The cakes are finished baking. What I'm going to do is let them sit on the counter just for a little bit and cool off. In a little bit, I will stick them in the freezer. In the meantime, what I'll do is finish cleaning the kitchen. I want to clean out the sink, use my new Clean Freak. A lot of my subscribers out there mentioned that they love the Clean Freak multi-purpose cleaner and I should try all the scents. So I decided to try the lavender today. You know I love lemons, but why not change it and see if I like the lavender too? And I actually like the way it smells a lot. I'm going to give the sink a good scrub down, cleaning any gunk or bacteria or food residue that's lying on the surface and make it nice and sparkling clean again. One of the things I love most about this sink is that it came with a sink grid. I don't know if all the sinks these days are coming with one of these things, but this has been so wonderful, and I'll tell you why. It really helps protect your sink from any scratches from your pots and pans, from your dishes, as well as from your forks and knives. It also gives you a space to dry your dishes after you're done. It acts as a drying rack. So I always try and make sure that I clean it really well, because if you look at it closely, you can see a lot of, I don't know what it is, but it's so gross. It's like just remnants of food, gunk, and just things like that, debris that's just lying on the grid itself. I always like to try and give it a good cleaning so that if I ever have to dry my dishes on this grid, then I know that it is clean. And normally I will place the dishes upside down so that it could dry properly. I'll do that, and I know that at least it's not touching anything disgusting that's lying on the surface of the grid. If you do not have a sink grid, I know that you can actually buy one on Amazon. You just measure your sink, and it might not fit your sink perfectly, but it should cover the majority of your sink. I know there's different sizes, different shapes out there. I can't imagine that there are sinks out there with, unless you have a really odd shaped sink, which would be really neat, but most sinks are square, rectangular. So I know there are some that you can buy on Amazon. So take a look there. It could be a lifesaver for you for preserving the integrity and the beauty of your sink, but then also allowing you to dry your dishes on the grid itself. Oh, how I love a clean sink. Now I'm going to place these cakes into the freezer. Most people add a thin layer of frosting to the cake to contain the crumbs. So when you add the decorative layer of frosting, none of the crumbs will show up in the decorated layer of the frosting. But I'm not going to do that. I find that I can just freeze my cakes, and when I place the icing on there, the crumbs are minimal because they're all frozen to the cake. So I don't have that issue. Plus, the cake will be covered in toasted coconut. I will do that in a little bit. In my opinion, I have more control of a frosted cake when it is frozen. I try and clean my counters almost every day. What it does is forces me to declutter the space in the process, so it's a good thing. I do like a clean counter. You can see remnants of food and drink when we spill on these counters. Ellie and I eat at the counter. We do our homework at this counter, and Chuck will sometimes work here and eat here too. He mostly uses the breakfast table. Because the surface is white, you can see a lot of food. Any colored food you can see on the counter lying there, and I do like to wipe it down, give it a good cleaning so I can get rid of any bacteria that's just lying on the surface. We don't eat a lot of rice in the house, but this is my Asian rice cooker. I love it. It keeps my rice warm, and I'll normally keep the rice in there for about 2 or 3 days. I try not to eat too much rice. In fact, I try not to eat too much carbohydrates. I don't do carb-free, but I do try and limit the amount of rice, pasta, potatoes, bread, things like that. All of my favorite foods, just so that I can maintain my weight. I try not to overdo it, but I try and have a portion of carbohydrates at each meal along with proteins and fats. I think that's a good combination of all three to have a balanced diet. I do love my rice cooker. I'm going to link it in the description below if you eat a lot of rice in your house, which when I go home to Louisiana and visit my mom, we have rice cooking all the time. She cooks the most delicious Vietnamese meals, and it's such a treat for me to go home during summer and during Christmas to visit her because she cooks all my childhood favorite foods, and it's nice to have someone else cook for me for a change because I do all the cooking in the house, and that's okay. I enjoy cooking a lot, actually, and I enjoy baking even more. I can smell the cake in the air. I cannot wait to finish icing it and have a slice later on at the party tonight. point. I will finish it icing and decorating the cake soon. I need to place some shredded sweetened coconut into the oven and toast it. I do love a toasted coconut cake. I'm being a little bit lazy today, so what I'm going to do is allow my Tacom L4000 robotic vacuum sweep the floor for me. I really like this thing a lot. It does a great job. It picks up a lot of dirt, and by the time it's done, you can see all the dirt in the canister, and there's a lot. So it does a great job. It also works in straight lines, which I can appreciate. You can also set it up on your phone, or you have to set up the app on your phone in order to control it. Let's move on to the pantry, and as you can see, there's just a lot of random stuff everywhere. Groceries that I need to put away and organize. I also need to declutter the space and get it organized. It's feeling a little bit cluttered. I do love that we have these storage bins, and that makes it look really aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Everything is organized. It has a space, but sometimes when we come home from the grocery store, we just throw things on the floor and we just go about our business. But now what I'm going to do is just organize the space and declutter, as well as get rid of foods that might be expired, get it organized in the space. As I mentioned before about the lavender scented clean freak, I like the way the bottle sprays. I don't know, there's just something easy about it, and I like it a lot. I think it does a great job. I can actually clean my stainless steel with it, and I feel like it does a really good job. It doesn't leave any streaks, smudges, smears. So it is multi-purpose, and I am using it on different surfaces, my microwaves, my counters, my stainless steel, and so far I'm really liking it a lot.
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more than anything. It's way too quiet in the house, I'm just wasted on the couch. Guess I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's
I'm going to move everything off of the floor and place it into the formal dining room area so that I have a nice, clean, clear space to work with. There are a few food items that I need to restock and put into place, such as these noodles. I love these ramen noodles. They are the black label. It's beef bone. I bought it at the Asian market, but I think you can also buy it on Amazon. I'll link it in the description below. I'm also going to organize other parts of the pantry where there's just random food out of place. I'm not saying that every food item has a space in our pantry, but for the most part, I try and categorize things. So it's going to feel really good once I put all the food back into the storage containers and then I clear out the clutter. I'm going to quickly organize Chuck's Lazy Susan turning containers. This container has all of his snacks. Chuck is a grazer just like myself and Ellie. We just graze all day and we eat snacks throughout the day. We never get famished or too hungry that we're eating everything in sight. This is his area in the pantry, and he has a lot of different protein snacks, snacks that keeps him full and satisfied throughout the day.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the...
One of my subscribers suggested spray way stainless steel cleaner, which I am excited to use that. I will probably use that after I finish all my Wyman stainless steel cleaner. But I bought the glass cleaner just to try it out. I have seen some other cleaning videos, other people on YouTube use it, and they seem to like it a lot. So I want to give it a try. I'm seeing some dust on our plantation shutters. I also want to wipe that down too. I do see some dust on the shutters, so I also want to wipe down the shutters and get those free of any dust lying on that surface.
The perfect summer is over in a flash and you're on your way. Somebody near is open for tonight. It's not too late. My mind says yes.
It is very difficult to vacuum this brick flooring. It is not finished, so it's really rugged and rough. I'm going to use my heavy duty broom. It's an outside broom, but I actually only use this broom inside for areas like this. I like this broom a lot. I find that it does a great job of getting into the nooks and crannies, cleaning these brick floors. It's not often that you go into a home and see brick floors. My mom has them, but they're finished and they are smooth. But Chuck wanted a farmhouse industrial look in our house, so he decided not to finish the brick floor. So this broom does a great job of picking up all the debris on the floor.
The perfect summer is over in a flash and you're on your way. Somebody near is open for tonight. It's not too late. My mind says yes. You've been here for quite some time, but my heart tells me you should stay a little while. Are we at the end or are we at the start? 129.
I'm so happy with the way the butler's pantry as well as the pantry turned out. It feels so organized and clutter-free now. Everything has a space. It just feels extremely clean in this area. I'm moving on to the laundry. I do have a lot of towels that I need to fold, and then I'm going to place a load of clothes that was in the washer into the dryer, and I'll get to that in a little bit. What I'll do right now is neatly fold all the towels and then put them back into the linen closet. I always clean out the filter whenever I am drying my clothes. I don't think I've ever missed a time, because what happens is that it makes your dryer work so much harder, and it's a fire hazard if you don't clean out the filter. So I make an effort to always clean it out when I'm drying a new load of laundry.
The perfect summer is over in a flash and you're on your way. Somebody near is open for tonight. It's not too late. My mind says yes. You've been here for quite some time, but my heart tells me you should stay a little while. Are we at the end or are we at the start? 129 beats per minute from my heart. Anywhere we go is where I long to roam. Night or day, I'm taking you all the way, 'cause my heart screams, let me carry you home.
What I'm going to do is take some sweetened shredded coconut and place it in the oven, and I'm going to toast it to place on the outside and decorate the outside of the coconut cake. You can't keep it in the oven for too long, otherwise it will burn, but I probably let it toast for about 7 to 10 minutes, but I watch it carefully, and I make sure to use a wooden spoon to mix it around so that all of the shredded coconut is toasted. Now it's time to make the coconut cream cheese buttercream frosting. You'll need 2 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature, 1 full block fat of cream cheese at room temperature, 2 tablespoons of coconut milk, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and half a teaspoon of coconut extract and vanilla extract actually, and 1/8 tablespoon of salt. You can also add 2 cups of sweetened shredded coconut if you so desire. We like as much coconut in our cake as possible, so I always add that and a little bit more. Mix all the ingredients together until it's nice and smooth and it's at the consistency that you want. I would probably use the coconut extract to thin it out, or maybe some milk if you want to. If it's too thin, you can add more of the confectioner sugar, which of course is powdered sugar. Now what you do is slowly remove the parchment paper off the bottom of the cake, and look how easily it slides off. Add your icing right on top, and this will be the bottom layer. If you like thick frosting in the middle, I made some extra frosting, and I'm going to use some of that in addition to the coconut frosting that I made. This is just regular buttercream, just to have some extra in the middle. Place the second layer on top, and what you want to do is take your toasted coconut and then press it up against the cake all around the sides and on top if you want. Now this is personal preference. I like toasted coconut. I like the crunch, the texture. It gives it some texture because the cake itself is so moist, but the toasted coconut gives it a nice little crunch, so you have all different types of textures in your mouth, and it is so delicious. So there's coconut throughout the cake, in the middle, in the batter, as well as in the frosting. You have different types of coconut. You have the toasted, you have the sweetened soft coconut shreds, and this cake is so delicious. So if you're a coconut lover and you want to try a delicious coconut cake for yourself, make one for yourself or for your family, this is the recipe to try. I'll link that recipe in the description below, and that's it. This is the end of my cleaning and cooking motivational video, and don't forget to press that subscribe button below. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's just been so much fun. I hope you found a lot of motivation. If you did, and if you like these types of videos, please subscribe. Also, give me a like and leave a comment below and let me know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I'd love to know what you're doing, and more importantly, I want to know what you're cooking. I'll see you on my next cleaning motivational video.